helpless. Her innocence was taken away. Her soul was ripped apart. Her mind was tortured. Against her will, her pride was taken away. Even when she tried to push him away, he somehow found his way. Even with tears in her eyes, he ripped her clothes apart. She screamed with an inconsolable sob. Forget it being an inside job, she was alone in a mob.
I have a friend. We've been best friends for over 15 years, since I was 8 years old or so. And she only recently found out about my story. She found out same time as everybody else when I was going through interviews. And it's because I felt like if I tell her, her perception of me will change in her mind. It's that she will see how vulnerable I am. I will seem weak and damaged and spoiled goods. That was my whole thing. So in high school, I kept to myself. I didn't speak to anyone because I didn't want them to see me. And for a long time, everyone thought she's just a loner, weird kid. But it's because I was battling internally, struggling with, do I take my life? Do I move on? And it took a lot of time to heal, and it's still a healing process. So for anyone who's in a position that I am, for anyone who hasn't found the courage yet to speak up, it's okay, take your time, but don't internalize it. Know that the shame, the guilt, the fear, those are not your things to feel. Those are for your abuser, number one. And it feels a whole lot better when you open up to someone. That's when the healing actually starts, when you say it out loud to someone. I know someone you trust probably hurt you, maybe a stranger, but when you open up to someone that you trust and love and someone that cares about you, that's when the healing begins. So speak to someone. It doesn't have to be the whole world, on a stage, on a panel discussion. It could just be in your room, over a text to a best friend, cousin, sister, parent. Just start the healing journey now so you can take back control of your life.
That's true.
Insanity. Insanity is proving your masculinity by taking her virginity. Why should you use her vulnerability to satisfy your egoticity? Where is the morality in caressing a little girl in the name of satisfying your selfish feelings, planting seedlings of fear and shame, unplugging her flame? Gosh, that's lame.
How exactly can they have healthy relationships with men going forward after such?
It's not just with men, it's just healthy relationships in general. Is you will never find happiness in other people. You will never find that healing in an external partner or friend. You don't expect to be healed by somebody else and say, no, I will get over it when I find someone that loves me, a friend, when my mother finally understands me, when whoever. That's with you inside. You will only be able to have a healthy relationship with another person if you have a healthy relationship with yourself. If you are healed, you have accepted what happened. Because there's no way to move forward except accept that it happened. It happened. You can't change it. I wish that I could, but I can't. So I have to accept that this happened. And I will either be a victim or I will be a voice of power and speak up against abuses and show other women, young girls that have passed through things like me that, listen, this is not your story. This isn't what God's plan for you was. It happened. That's a man's actions. That's a person's actions. You are still greatness. You can still be everything that you want and dream to be. Don't let it hold you back. Heal yourself internally. And then also, sometimes women that have been abused end up being in toxic relationships. There's statistics and research that show this. Look out for red flags, okay? And it goes back to trying to find that comfort and healing in other people. And then they'll manipulate you and they may use that against you, but you are nothing. You were raped and violated. You're lucky that I am with you. Look out for red flags from toxic men. Read up on narcissists, read up on red flags, read up on healing mechanisms for women that have been through sexual abuse and violence. You don't always need to go to a therapist. It's information you can also find online. There are also apps like BetterHelp, which offers 3 therapy sessions for people. So take the time to also invest in your well-being and health.
Why should you take pleasure in destroying her future when deep down you know she is the very future? His gullible persistence ruined her entire existence. He ruined a little girl's innocence with his insolence. He spit on her like a venomous snake. She was just a child for Pete's sake. And now she must carry the load of shame weighing on her heart.
Is it too late for someone to open up maybe when they are 30 years or 20 years?
after the exposure?
I think that it's never too late to call out your abuser, but the earlier is better. Because imagine if I called out my abuser now as an adult. When I was a child, no one believed me. I went to my mother and my grandmother. No one except my older sister believed me. She was also a child. Were they going to take her seriously? So imagine now if I came out now as an adult to say, hi, 20 years ago when I was 4 years old, this happened to me. Where is my evidence and proof? So the sooner you come out, it will be hard. And of course, you're still battling to accept what's happened with you. I felt disgusted with my body. It was the first time I properly grew up and said, there are evil people in the world. I hate everyone. I don't want to be alive. But you have to go and report it immediately, because at that point, the evidence is there. You can get some form of justice and closure. That person can be taken to book and held accountable for their actions and what they've done to you. But if you go 30 years later, of course, you will have the satisfaction of, I have finally let the world know. You will have that moment to heal, your closure. But whether people will believe it based off of evidence is another question. So the sooner and earlier, the better. That's my word of advice.
Dejected, crushed, with a dented future, she bled as he fled. Tears shed and her heart fed, with a perpetual hate for all men. She clinged to the elusive mantra of all men are the same. Is she to blame? You know what? She will heal. She will sow. She will seek help. We will be a rainbow in her cloud. Her dreams will echo aloud, and she will make us proud.
I know it's hard to talk about these things because it feels as though you are reliving the trauma that you went through. But the moment you start speaking about it, that is when you start healing. So it starts with you talking to someone, and not just anybody. Identify someone who relates to you, or someone who's able to at least assist you take a step into overcoming that trauma. So talk about it, get counselors. I'm happy that Child Lifeline was here to represent an organization that has a call center where you can call in and report issues of sexual abuse or any form of abuse really. So you can either call 116 or 993, talk to a counselor, and whatever you share with them will be confidential. It will not be shared with the general public.
I think one thing that I'll take home is I should not be very discreet with whatever is going on, with the vulnerability that is going on with the young ones, either boy or girl. I should learn to speak up if I'm hurt, if I'm being touched in a wrong place. I should learn to speak out, because if I don't, it's not only going to hurt me, it's going to bring scars on different people which are in that society, and then we're breaking the nation at large. So this is an encouragement to everybody there, especially our young boys, our young girls, and everybody, men and women, to speak up. Let's learn to mentor our young ones from a young age, and of course adding an action to that.
Ms. Chiumphe Sara Lungu, author of Almost a Bride, was the inspiration for this piece. Her book is a page-turner about love, pain, and redemption, as well as a proponent of sexual violence prevention. Ms. Lungu is also a businesswoman who owns a food processing company that produces banana jam and a variety of ready-to-eat instant foods. She's an activist against sexual violence as a result of her own trauma, which she overcame, and she hopes to inspire others to do the same. Call the number on the screen to order a copy of her book. Let us work together to create a future where children are not subjected to sexual violence.